Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Fan Takeaways, where you share your thoughts via Instagram and we basically discuss it every Monday moving forward in the evening, 6 p.m, and start our week. You know, win, lose, or draw. We have a chat about the game that was. And of course, if you haven't shared anything via Instagram, that's okay. This is live. So you can always have your 2 cents in the live chat. So you can do that, or you can just listen and do nothing. That's okay as well. So we're here. What we got? West Coast this Saturday. Like I said, we'll dissect the St Kilda game together and then go from there. A little bit of feedback from the Tom Mitchell, or about the Tom Mitchell fan takeaway, and we'll get into that as well. So we'll see. Is there anything I want to talk about before we get going in this? Not really. Hope we're all well. It was a good Monday in Melbourne, nice and warm. And this is where we're at. So let's get going, eh? Let's start. All right, is this the start? It is. Okay. From Jake Robinson, 19. Darcy Moore back to his intercept best. Nick Daicos destroying Windhager. So we got 2 in 1 there. Darcy Moore in the second half was outstanding and led from the front, but also the back, if that makes any sense. What do you have? 6 intercept marks in that second half. He led the way in the back line. A lot of what went really well for the Pies in the second half was just the way we were able to connect and outrun and outwork St Kilda. And once again, given our age demographic, to be able to do that against some really good strong runners, you know, Marcus Windhager is the spearhead of all of that. It was really pleasing. And to knock off the cobwebs and just win convincingly in the end. You have players, it really embodied a team effort, a Collingwood type of win. Just good energy, good speed. Skill is important as well, of course, but yeah, it all starts with, like, how good was Darcy Moore intercepting, I think, on our D50 and just surging, playing on immediately and rebounding us and going forward. So that is the Darcy Moore we love to see. Sometimes, you know, he has his down games, but when he plays like that, he looks like the All-Australian player that he was in 2023. So that's good for Darcy, and that's good for footy, and that's good for the Pies. That's good for the Pies. Timmy, how you going? Thanks, mate. Appreciate it. Stephanos, welcome. Bring on West's Judd. There'll be plenty of Charlie West conversation this week, that's for sure. And Donnie says Mitch and JDG are done. I hope I am wrong. Manny says Mitchell can play in for Sullivan. Nothing to lose. Have a look at it. He's still a Brownlow medalist. We'll get into that. Feds, the tribal chief. Just a good performance, and Darcy Moore's marking in the second half was great. So just wanted to add that onto what we've already spoken about. Bailey Gurdev, gotta love the boys. Everyone did their role. Bring on the flag. You know, I feel like as a fan base, we've been pretty tamed and content in where we're at. We're not really looking too far ahead, and that's the way it should be. But it's good. It's good to see we're all not getting too carried away. At the end of the day, it's just one of those. It's sport. It's one game in the end. To get to the final dance in September, you just don't know what's going to happen. For anyone who watches the NBA today, they had Game 7 in the grand final. Essentially, they do a best of 7, and it was 3-3, and it was Indiana versus OKC. In the first 5 minutes, their best player for Indiana, Tyrese Halliburton, I think he had hit 3 threes in a row in the first 5 minutes of the game. Looked like he was going to have a legacy game, and unfortunately ruptures his Achilles tendon. So, man, sport is relentless and unforgiving, and it's not fair. So that's why I would love to be able to say right now, yeah, we're going to win the flag. Would love that. But fuck, you just don't know what's around the corner in life, in sport, whatever it may be. H. Dimmitt says, tough win, but great after a bye. Nick Daicos back. And it's good we right our wrongs. Is that the term? We got to right our wrongs on the weekend. Going back to last year, post-bye, those 4 games, diabolical, right? So it was good to get a good... For me, that's still a convincing win. I would say that win was more convincing than the Demons win, just because we were able to break away. Hey, Anthony, are you on? Yes, guys, I was going to wait, but I'll probably do another reminder a little bit later in the show. I will be on the Pommy and Oz show tonight at 8 p.m. It's the Pommy Kickback show, so we'll be on for like an hour and a half, however long we will be there. I want, if anyone here is free at 8, come along. Me and Pommy generally have some pretty good yarns, and it's a bit of a piss take. It's good fun. So jump in at 8 p.m. and we'll be there. And I hope some of you will be there. I trust you guys. A lot of you guys like Pommy anyway, so you guys probably watch his shows as much as you watch mine anyways. Beasley 30509. First time watching Collingwood where I didn't feel worried about the Saints' comeback. Is it the maturity in the side? Because I mean, we were already old last year and all those sort of things. As a team, collectively, cohesively, we are more mature. Away from the age conversation. As a team, I feel like 22, 23, 24, this has been the core squad that we've been dealing with for the most part, right? And then you get a couple of additions along the way who have just molded in perfectly. Lipinski, Frampton, Bobby Hill, Lockie Schultz, and then you've got this year Houston, Membry, and Perryman. So, yeah, I think that's probably the trust in the team is because we've been able to mold very well. Jay Thorne says, just wondering if Nick Daicos was tagged tonight, ? Yeah, 30 touches and a goal. Had to deal with a lot along the way that was on the outskirts of the boundaries of the rules, maybe. But you know what? I'll be honest. If I'm Windhager, I'm doing everything I can within the letter of the law until I'm told I can't do otherwise. If I'm going to get away with it, why wouldn't you? That's the way I see it. So I thought he didn't do anything wrong per se, Marcus Windhager. As much as we hate to see the knees to the back of the hammies and whatnot, he got away with it. If you can get away with it and it helps your team, I mean, you're not stealing food off homeless kids. Like, it's not the worst thing in the world to be doing what you're doing to Nick Daicos. The AFL need to protect Nick. And until then, we're going to continue seeing that. That's it. Mick_M27. We need the Braz back just to steady the back line for the peace of mind. We felt that against the Demons. Did we feel that against the Saints? There was a lot of back and forth with the Saints, wasn't it? I feel like every time they inched a bit closer, we were able to respond. I didn't necessarily feel entirely vulnerable watching the game back in the back line, but of course, I mean, yeah, Brazzy's gonna make you that much more defensively sound. So it'll be interesting with the inclusion still to come. Brazzy to go in, Lockie Schultz, man, and then there's other players. Interesting. Matt, and this is just to the Marcus Windhager take. Matt JDLCRZ. What a dirty tag on Nick. Windhager kneed and punched him. Yeah, I mean, my point still stands. I still stick to my point. Mags Travels says, no issues with Lipper comeback. Billy Elliott happier when kicking goals. Frampton does enough. Lipper was outstanding. You guys saw the video. I think I saw Ben say he really liked the video, which is good to hear. Thank you, Ben. There's a few comments. I want to do, guys, I want to get through a bunch of these ones and then get to the chat as well, because there's obviously a few fan takeaways in there, but we will get there. Yeah, Lipinski was really good. Really good. He was a connector, was almost faultless the whole game. Brought the heat, applied 5 tackles, which is his most for the season, which is good. His contest, I think he had the most contested possessions this season as well. So season highs all the way around, and that's a complete performance from Lipinski. Was it 30 touches and 2 goals? I think I said 30 and 1. It was 30 and 2. Yeah, he was outstanding. And if you watch the goal back that Nick Daicos kicked, Lipinski touched the ball 3 times in that sequence before it got to Nick Daicos. So remember that. Maverick Buckley 005. Lost clearances. Mitchell is in our best September team. I think, what did Manny say here? Let's see. He said something here, which I sort of agree with. Mitchell can play in for Sullivan. Nothing to lose. Have a look at it. He is still a Brownlow medalist. I mean, I just would have thought, right? And maybe they're answering my question. I would have thought with Tom Mitchell in the VFL, maybe they would have given him some forward time so that if he was to come back into the AFL side, he can play the Lockie Sullivan role, which is not a lot of mid. I think Mitchell would, if he was in the side, he'd play a bit more mid than what Sullivan is playing, but also a little bit more forward time. Problem is Mitchell a pressure forward? Probably not when the game is in the open. So to me, if Mitchell is to come in, he needs to take a spot in the midfield where he is afforded, 50, 60% in the midfield. That's the question we need to ask now, I feel like. That's where I think Tom Mitchell is at right now, barring any injuries and horrendous form slumps, right? Until then, Sullivan's position it's not safe because there's always a Will Hayes, there's always a DeGoey, there's always a Lockie Schultz. They're all around the corner. They're all knocking at the door. They're trying to break it down. So we'll see. It's interesting. Badri says Lipinski is undroppable. People may get upset when someone says something not so positive about Patrick Lipinski, but the reality was, guys, Patrick Lipinski was a sub, I think a couple weeks before the bye, and that was pure. I mean, why would Patrick Lipinski be the sub? In my eyes, it was because he was down on form, which means he was a chance to be dropped. And now he's so far away from that right now from being dropped, which is great. If you go across the board of the season, pre-season, I was Lipinski's biggest fan, right? But there was a little slump. Maybe if you have a look now, what was the slump? I can't quite remember specific moments. I mean, there was a question on his hardness around a contest, which will always be a conversation. But numbers-wise, where was the pin? I know there was a period when he was the sub. He was a bit down on form. So let's clarify. People like to get their panties in a bunch when it comes to Patrick Lipinski. Everyone wants to defend him, which is fine. We all support the same team. Time on ground. Okay. So there was a game. Let's have a look here. Yeah, what? 18, 20, 20, 15, and then 5 when he came on against Adelaide as the sub. Interesting. It was more so the things we saw in the game that maybe we didn't love from Patrick Lipinski. In his last 3 games, he's had 10 score involvements, 8 score involvements, 7 score involvements. Like his tackling pressure's great. He's been good. Can't fault the man right now. Badri.m also says, Perryman has proven to be a great pickup. His impact around the ground is immense. He'll be an unsung hero. Who does he remind you guys of from teams gone by in the black and white? Who is like the perfect carbon copy of Harry Perryman? I'm just trying to think. Can't say Alan Tuvey because Perryman's obviously much more versatile. Is he a Travis Varco? Who else off the top of my head, if we go way back? Let me know. You guys will have better luck thinking that through than I will right now. Damien Kerniak says, did the job in the end, but we should have dominated the game for 4 quarters and won by more. Hey, in a perfect world, we win by 4. We win 4 quarters and we win by 100 points. But this is AFL. Every side on their day, in the moments, too many moving parts to assume that we should dominate the Saints for 4 quarters just because Western Bulldogs did this and that. I mean, they beat Melbourne a couple of weeks ago. You just don't know in this league. Cohen says Nick Daicos Brownlow. Well, surely 3 votes there, right? Him, although DC was pretty exceptional. Willie P304 says Lipper was a gun, class effort and intent, which is important. As a young footy player, it's great to look up to him. So you saw in this comment here, intent was very important, and that's what we want from Lipper. Nicholas Allen says we need to work more on centre clearances, take Sullivan out and bring the Wombat. Tom Mitchell. So I'll bring a question into the poll. Just like I said, I don't think it's a like for like role, the one that Sullivan is serving and the role that Titch would be asked of coming into the side. A few magnets would have to be moved, so to speak. Would you like to see Titch in for Sullivan? Question mark. Question mark, question mark. Start poll. All right, let me catch up to some questions, hey? All right, let's go. Scroll up, scroll up, scroll up. Fareed says, will Hoskin Elliott stay in when everyone's in? Good question. Good question, and only time will tell because he's a great player. He's versatile. There's a lot of things that need to go under the bridge before we get to that. Good question, though. He's every chance, is what I'd say. I'd say more likely than not. Andoni says, I like Hoskin Elliott. He's a good utility player. Ahila says, our backline looked a bit shaky when the ball was at ground level. Our intercept game relies on our pressure up the field. Yeah, look, it's still the post-clearance ground ball gets and all that sort of stuff is still waning and probably not where we want it right now. But we've been net positive in that statistical realm early in the season, but it's not falling our way right now. We'll see. To watch this space still. Westy to debut this week says Southeast Wolf for sure. He says, in a world where McStay, Membry, or Myercheck need a week off, being this week, yes, I think so. But I'm just like, I'm thinking, right? I'm thinking, Fly wants to get Charlie West in, right? But if they're still healthy and available, why would you change the team? Andoni says, rather Mitch than Sullivan any day of the week. Fareed says, who does he come out for in the mid? That's the thing. Tom Mitchell in the midfield would mean other players would have to spend less time in there. That means Ned Long might have to play more forward. Jack Crisp or Steel Sidebottom would have to play more forward. Andoni says, when Lipper is playing well, he's huge for the team. Exactly right. Yorgos Danidis says, for goodness sake, you think it was a satisfactory win. Wake up, people. They smashed us at the contested ball. I know the reply to this is we are still winning, but it won't cut it in finals at better teams. Oh, well, mate, we're all on the same page, mate. I think we all know that the contest needs to improve and finals is built around the contest. It's not everything. Look at Melbourne. Look at Carlton. These teams are, the creme de la creme when it comes to the contest, but they can't get other things right in their game. I don't think everything needs to be crystal, squeaky clean when it comes to the contest for us. I think we just need to get closer to breaking even. So let's see if we can work towards that. Shaw, as in Heath Shaw? Maybe not, because Heath Shaw never played on a wing or on ball. Ben Johnson's a good call. Ben Zero says, George, Fly said we won't always have the game entirely on our terms, and to take the win when not at best skill is a plus. Pies can switch on the contest clearance side as seen earlier this year. Exactly. But they're first and foremost a score from turnover side. Yep. Perryman, Shane O'Brien is what Manny reckons. Nick won't win the Brownlow this year. That's okay. I mean, who gives a flying fuck anyways? It's a fucking Brownlow, eh? In saying that, don't underestimate the Eagles next week. We should win, but we shouldn't drop our guard. Always. Dom says, be good to give Tom Mitchell a run this week to see how he handles AFL level. Hey, look, when we do the Predicted 23, we'll be doing it live. Let's see how we can fit Tom Mitchell in. Yeah, we can look at how we fit Tom Mitchell in. We can look at how Charlie West fits into the side, and we can see what it looks like and see if we're happy with it. Perryman is a Gavin Crossica type. I've heard of the name, Stu, but I would be lying to you if I knew who that guy actually is. I'm sorry. Patrick Emmett says, if there's any time we should be getting Titch in for Sullivan, it's this Saturday against the Eagles. We'll really see where Titch is. Oh, you guys really want Titch in. Manny says, if you want clearances to go up, Mitchell in. I think 2023 will dominate in clearances. Jeez, seems quite unanimous here, eh? Hey, Black Doc says, hey, I think with Bruz coming in, Pez can be moved up the ground, wing or even half forward, giving the team more flexibility to shift magnets. It's a dilemma, isn't it? It is a great dilemma. But the beauty is Pez can fill the plug anywhere. So Bruz will take precedence in the back line, and if we need to move Pez around, then that's fine. Titch, Voidoy Generation says, Titch is probably on a par or a slight upgrade on Sullivan. Need to find out which Tom will get, says Stephanos. Depends on the role, though. The Saints crowded our defense, but when it opened up, the game was back on our terms. We just outran them in the second half. That's what it felt like. Stu says, I also think Steen will need some exposure at senior level. You know what? You could almost pencil. No, I'm not going to say that. There's every chance that Steen debuts this year. Once again, and that's pending if DC needs a rest at some point. And I would like to think DC could use a rest before season's end. Maybe even this game. I don't know. Manny Costo, he has to play or everything that Fly says around the club means fuck all. He preaches take your opportunity. He has to play. Ramesh, here he is. Luke says, we're getting pumped in clearances. We'll make room for Titch. This is where we try against the Meth Coke. The Meth Coke Eagles. Yeah. Guys, valid points. Whether Fly goes that way or not. I mean, he's been very loyal to Sullivan. Who knows? Voidoid says Hoskin Elliott might be on the edge of selection if we have a full list to pick from. I think, guys, Hoskin Elliott was good against St Kilda, wasn't he? I can't remember him putting a foot wrong. Wolf reckons rest checkers, which is one of the ways West finds a spot in the side. No forwards will be rested, but West will still come in. Rick, tell me how. Because West is 6'4", mate. He's a giant. We are 17th in contested ball. We sure are. We need to remember Titch is a Brownlow medalist. Haven't seen a Brownlow medalist playing VFL for a long time. Yep. A lot of Titch love in here, which is good to see. Teresa says, George, St Kilda have always and will always be a team that can cause upsets to big team. It's not that deep. It's true. I like Titch, but I worry he'll slow us down in his kicking. That's, yeah. Titch is, he comes in and he fixes one thing, and that's the contest. But he doesn't, there's other things where maybe in 2025 you probably need a bit more. You need kicking ability. You need a little bit of speed out of the contest. Like Ned Long is a reincarnation of Tom Mitchell, but with added layers. Yes, I know. Maybe Ned Long will never be a Brownlow medalist, but I think Ned Long has a lot of strings to his bow. We don't know what his ceiling is right now, but I think right now in this moment, Tom Mitchell compared to Ned Long is an evolved, a 2025 version of Tom Mitchell, an evolved one. Worth giving Titch a run, says RJ. He played well in the grand final and deserves a shot. Gavin Crosker, 99 premiership player. I know a lot of 1990 premiership players, but Yeah, that one unfortunately slips my mind. Well, you got Starcevic, you got Morwood. You know, the list goes on. I'm sorry, I missed that one. Looking forward to Bruzzy coming back. He'll take care of Nick. He always has. Not just Nick, but he doesn't take shit. True, MD? Plays stoned on weed the whole time. Interesting. Hey, guys, remember, I'm 97, yeah? I'm 97 born. And here's the thing. I know most of the players, but right now they slip my mind. I mean, if you want to go back a year to my on my YouTube channel, I made like a mini documentary on the 1990 flag. Just unfortunately names that don't always frequent in my mind, they will ultimately slip out unless they're right. Unless they're Darren Mullane or Tony Shaw or Gavin Brown, Brian Taylor. Don't hate me, guys. Stu says Demeter will need to tidy up his disposal before senior debut. But yeah, he's really assumed that role in the midfield. And he's definitely collecting the ball. I think a little bit more of an endurance tank. I remember watching him in the preseason. His running capacity wasn't great, but he is explosive. But he is progressing well. Ramish says, Bo's raw pace is going to be missed. I don't know who comes in. Hayes is the obvious answer. Geez, so we're going to have a couple of changes, right? So Braden Maynard will come in, right? Bo McCreary has to come out, injury. And then, yeah, maybe we're questioning the form of Sullivan. Maybe some of you want to see West in. So Titch comes in, West comes in. Sullivan goes out. We'll talk about it tomorrow. Andoni says, I think Pendles is playing good at the moment. In saying that, you could rest him or side bottom for Mitchell this week. Another possible variability that could happen this week. Teresa says, contested possession doesn't matter that much if you're winning around. If you're winning around, always not winning around it. Yeah, 2023 we're horrible in most stats at face value, and we still found a way to win. We haven't got. We'll get the injury update tomorrow. It's usually Tuesday, like 5 p.m. I'll check the website though, just in case. Doesn't seem like it. That's fine. Allen and Sullivan go out. West can play deep forward as Membry gets high up and works back. Nah. I actually like watching, in game, I didn't really think much of Ed Allen's game. Watching it back, though, I thought he was actually really impressive. Really, another really good connection piece on the wing, hard runner. I'm liking the way Ed Allen's trending, and I wouldn't want to buck his or put a halt to his development, because we're going to need every game injected into him going into the finals. We need another Darren Mullane. A real bull would eat Patrick Cripps. Well, I mean, the closest person to Darren Mullane is Braden Maynard, isn't it? Voido Generation says, see, once you get Lockie and maybe Geordie available, selection will be brutal. Yep. Parker needs consideration as well. He was really good in the VFL on the weekend, wasn't he? What's the goss around Cox? You think he'll come back at some point? He's playing really well in the VFL. Once again, those triple M's are going to keep him out until otherwise. Trelaw, another calf injury, which is unfortunate, isn't it? Stu retired playing footy in 98. Nah, you're right, mate. Ed was good. Ed was a good link player. Allen stays unless he is the worst on the ground. Consistently dropping is an awful idea for our youth. I agree. Put Charlie West in the goal square and let him play. Cox will be back, no doubt. And also, to answer, 82% of you would like to see Titch in for Sullivan. Okay. Is Manny in the chat? I'm going to open up Discord. Where's the Malaka? Vlima. Buya Sere. Where is he? Ella Malaka, join the chat. Join voice. Allow. Take it to the bank. West will play. Just have a listen to Fly talking about how close he was last week to playing. Once again, if we make some room for him and a player is rested, we will play him. But we will not play him on top of what's already there. With McStay back, I doubt Cox comes back. He can do the chop outs when DC is resting. Yasu.
Hello, Malaka. What are you doing, buddy?
Hello, Oriental. Buyur.
What are you doing, Malaka? What are you up to, mate?
What,
a lot of questions.
What do you think?
Questions, no answers.
What do you think? There's a lot of opinions there. There's a lot of opinions there, Manny. I hope you're jotting them down because I want to hear your thoughts.
Let me just pause it. Let me pause the TV. Put it this way. For me, all our young players, it doesn't bother me who comes in and out. I've come to the terms now that all our young players, they give the same amount of input anyways. Input on the ground. Whether it's Ed Allen, whether it's Sullivan, whether it's Parker, whether it's all those bottom end players, they usually give the same input, so you're not really losing or gaining anything, really.
Yeah, so you're saying doesn't matter who plays, they're sort of going to play to a similar level in the system we have right now.
Yeah, exactly. So there's not going to be a standout like their guns. They usually all do. They usually all do around the same input. You know what I mean? It's not like if you bring in Jordan DeGoey back in for one of those players, but usually all those bottom end players, they usually give the same input. They play their role.
So how would you fit Tom Mitchell in then? Or you wouldn't?
The only reason I'm bringing Tom Mitchell in is because he's a premiership player. He's played in the premiership before in the grand final.
That doesn't matter.
So he's got experience.
That doesn't matter, does it?
What? Grand final experience? Game day? Yeah, grand final experience?
It was in the past. It doesn't mean anything, right?
Yeah, but he's played in the grand. Yeah, but he's played in the grand final with him, Malaka. He's played in the grand final. Sullivan hasn't. So when things get tight, in the grand final, it's a whole different game. I'd rather have Titch out there that's experienced that before than fucking Sullivan. What if Sullivan makes a mistake?
Are you on the same field as everyone else, where they're saying if there's ever a game to play Tom Mitchell, it's this week?
No, it doesn't matter. I don't believe in if there's ever a game to play Tom Mitchell, it's this week. It's like West. It doesn't matter how young you are. If West comes in, which West has to come in because all the shit that Fly preaches in the club about West, about taking your opportunities, right? If he doesn't play West now, all the players that listen to him will know that he's full of shit. So West has to play. And if West plays and kicks three or four goals, West will stay in until he doesn't perform. Doesn't matter about his age.
So you're telling me if he kicks 4, he's keeping out either McStay, Membry, or Myercheck.
Yes, West will stay in. How are you going to drop a key forward if he's kicked 4 goals? Why would you drop a key forward that's kicked 4 goals? So if he kicks 4 goals, right, and the week after he kicks another 3, and then another 4, what would you drop him for?
Well, firstly, I think you're delusional. I think you're delusional because I don't think that's going to happen. As much as I wish Westy would.
Malaka, I just said if it happens, he won't be getting dropped. This is his opportunity to take his spot. If he takes his spot and he takes his opportunity, he keeps his spot.
Whose spot?
Whichever forward he's playing better than and kicking more goals than, he keeps his spot. What do you think? Because he's a young player now, that all of a sudden he has to go back to the VFL? Doesn't work like that, buddy. Doesn't work like that.
He's gonna have to kick. He's gonna have to kick a few more than 4 against the West Coast Eagles to stay in the side.
So you're telling me now, if you're a coach and your forward kicks 4 goals on debut, you're going to drop him the week after? Are you fucking crazy, or what's wrong with you?
He's a liability. He'd be a liability going into the finals, in my opinion.
So okay, All right, so you got. Sorry, I'll give you devil's advocate now.
All right.
West kicks 4, Membry kicks 1, and McStay kicks 1. Who are you dropping? Who are you dropping?
West.
You're still dropping West.
Probably.
Makes no fucking sense.
Probably. Depends.
It makes no sense.
Depends on what Membry and McStay are
Makes
bringing.
no sense. Doesn't make sense. You're not going to drop.
Well,
you're not going to drop a forward.
Here's the thing. I know what Membry and McStay are going to give me on a week-to-week basis. We know what West won't give us on a week-to-week basis this year, and that's consistency.
No,
we're not going to see consistency from him yet.
Malaki, you don't know. You know what you don't know? Is because you haven't seen him play yet. But if you see him play on the weekend and he kicks 4, how do you know that he's not going to kick 3, 4 the week after? How do you know that he's not built for AFL footy?
I'll put my balls on it, bro. I'll put my balls on it, man. I'll
well, no, there. We're assuming that Malaka. We know the percentages of him doing that are low. We know that, Malaka. Yeah. But if he does do it, would you keep him in the team?
I'd love to, but I don't think I could.
Yeah, but if he's kicking 4 goals a week, how could you drop him, Malaka? I don't understand what you think sometimes. If he's kicking 4 goals every week, how can you drop him? What are you going to say to him? You got, Westy, I dropped you because my chick's older than you and he's kicked 1 goal, but you kicked 4 goals, so I'm going to drop you back in the VFL.
You know, Manny, when you were like 33, 34 and you met that 21-year-old Yaneka at the bar and you fell in love with her. You fell in love with her.
Yeah.
And she was perfect, but she was just too young for you. You know what I mean?
Listen.
You know
this is what you understand about football. Listen. How old was Tony Lockett when he played his first game of footy?
Bro, stop the Malaki comparing Charlie West to Tony Lockett.
Hey, listen. 16 years old. Wayne Carey, first game of football. 17 years old. Westy is 19 years old. Don't worry about the age. How old was Nick Daicos when he come into the team?
Man, you're comparing him against greats, though.
Yeah, how do we don't know. We don't know what Westy's capable of doing, bro. We're assuming him, Malaka. But all this age bullshit means fuck all. What? Why?
It means something because it probably means...
Okay, so when Mike Tyson won the championship at 20 years old, right, was he too young to keep boxing? So they should have pulled him out of the ring, you're telling me. Malaka, are you right or what today? There's some players that can play or play the sport. Don't worry about the age, mate. The age means fuck all. If he comes in and performs...
Generally speaking, the law of averages, right? Younger players will be inconsistent. There are outliers. Yeah. You're hinging your hopes that Westy is an outlier in his formative games for the Pies.
Yeah, I know that, but I understand what you're saying, right? I'm thinking the same way you are, Ed. Trust me, right? Yeah. I know the percentages of him not playing well every week are low. I understand that, but if he say if he comes in and he's banging on goals left, right, and centre, you can't drop him after that. You'd be the stupidest thing you could ever do. Why would you drop a forward that's kicking goals? But I understand what you're saying. He might be inconsistent, but we just don't know yet. Until he plays, we just don't know. We're assuming.
Let's revisit this next Monday then, right? Hopefully he gets selected.
Malaka, we want him to come in and bang on 4 goals. How do we know he's not hungry? And he's been playing in the VFL because he's hungry. He wants his spot. He might be a monster there. Just imagine we've got a monster on our hands. Just imagine the content you'll be making. Forget about it. He might be a monster there, I'm telling you. What's he been kicking in the VFL?
26 goals in 11 matches according to Stu. So he didn't kick a goal for 3 weeks prior to, right? And those 3 weeks, you know what, Manny? Those 3 weeks, Riley Mason was in his forward line. This week just gone by, Riley Mason not in the forward line, so he needed the space.
Oh, right. So he's been consistent in the VFL, right? So if he's been consistent in the VFL, If he can be consistent like that in the AFL, we're laughing. We're laughing. But we just don't know yet. We're assuming. But he's if he's playing good football and kicking goals, I'm leaving him in the team. I'm not dropping him.
You know what? I'm going to double down. Here's the thing. I've seen what our forward line has done this year.
How many goals did Checkers kick on the weekend?
Checkers was unbelievable.
0.
You see his work rate.
Doesn't matter. Forwards are paid to kick goals, mate.
Nah, mate,
0.
not in 2025, Malaka. That's the jokes.
Malaka, if Westie's kicking 4 goals and my check's getting up the ground, I'm keeping Westie in for the 4 goals. Trust me.
I'm doubling down, man. What I've seen this year from our forward line, I don't want to upset the apple cart. I've seen enough.
Yeah, but if you're getting an extra 3 goals to the Malaka, you're not upsetting the apple cart. You're adding apples to the apple cart to the Malaka. I don't understand how you think sometimes.
You add too many apples, what happens? They topple over.
Yeah, but if he comes in and performs and kicks 4 goals, he will not get dropped. But he's going to be playing against shit kicker defenders. They got shit kicker defenders. McGovern's out, and they got young defenders, so he might work them over. But I'm telling you, he'll have to stay in the team, bro. And Mitchell, you spoke about it as well. Our clearances are down this year. You spoke about it. You done a video about it.
Let's do a poll. Let's do a poll, and then we'll revisit this. Okay. After the game.
Now, if West kicks 4 goals, does he get dropped the week after?
Interesting. If West kicks 4 goals, will he be dropped? Interesting. We'll only know after the game, though, right?
Waiting after the game. But he has to kick goals. He has to kick goals. If he doesn't kick goals, he might as well leave the other players in. But if he's kicking goals, he's doing his job, he keeps his spot. Like Ed Allen now. Ed Allen's keeping his spot now because he's doing okay.
What if Jordan De Goey is available as well next week after this game? What if?
Listen. I like that. Listen. I'm playing Geordie in Sullivan's role. But I'm telling you, if Westie's kicking 5 goals a week, right, I'm playing Westie before anyone else. Are you okay? What, Malaka? If Westie's kicking 5 goals a week, I'm playing Westie before anyone else. He's the first magnet on the board if he's banging on 5 goals a week. End of story.
Hey, we'd love to see it. That would be amazing.
And as for Mitchell, our centre clearances are low at the moment. If we can get Mitchell in there to help us out in the clearance battle, and we can get the ball moving forward, the speed gets taken out of the speed element gets taken out of his game because the ball's moving forward. The only problem with Mitchell is if they transition back through our midfield, we might get exposed. You know what I mean?
Hey, listen. Here, in an alternate universe, all right, Westie kicks 4, okay? Finlay, yes. I just saw a comment that just reminded me last year. Finlay McRae, and let me speak. Don't cut me off. Let me speak about this one. Finlay McRae kicked 3 goals against the Eagles and maybe survived another week. So, in an alternate universe, West kicks 4, but the week after, so let's say Membry's out. Yeah, Membry got managed, right? And
yes.
West kicks 4. Membry's got to come back in, but Westie keeps him out because he kicked 4. But then all of a sudden, you've got Lockie Schultz who's available. And then you've got Jordan De Goey who's available. And then, yeah, there's that.
Malaka, you're getting over your skis there. You're talking about a power forward there. If he's a power forward, he's our power forward, and he's kicking more goals than all our other forwards, one of our forwards has to go back to the VFL. It's simple as that. You can't have a forward in the team that's kicking less goals than the other one. It makes no sense. That's his job, bro. It makes no sense for Malaka.
Mate, by the end of the year, I recken.
And
amongst
if he
right?
plays this week, hold on a second. I'll make it easy for you. So you understand. If he plays this week, why is he getting his opportunity? Can you tell me?
Sorry?
If Fly puts his magnet on the board this week, why has Fly put his magnet on the board? Tell me why Why is Fly putting him in the team for?
Because his form has been good.
Yes. How has his form been good? How?
He's kicking
Is
goals.
his form being good because he's bringing? Is his form being good because he's bringing the ball down? Or is his form being good?
Well, actually, even when he didn't kick
goals,
goals, he was taking contested marks still further up the ground.
Yes, but Fly's thinking about bringing him in because he's been banging on goals. Now, so if Fly's going to give him an opportunity to come in because he's kicking goals, when he comes to the AFL and kicks goals, why the fuck would Fly drop him? It makes no fucking sense. That's why he's getting his opportunity. But like I say, if he comes in and he does what he's doing in the VFL, why would Fly drop him when he's just giving him his opportunity because he's doing what he's supposed to be doing?
So with no context, with no context, the poll: if West kicks 4 goals, will he be dropped? Yes, 16%. No, 84%.
Exactly. So what's wrong? So what's wrong with you, there, Malaka? What's wrong with you there?
We'll see.
What's wrong with you there? When I see you one day there, I'm gonna give you a smack in the ball there. The way you think sometimes, it does my head in, bro.
I love shitting you though. You know that, yeah. You know I love fucking rubbing you.
Nah. You're doing it on purpose to cheer me up, at Malaka. I know you're a cheeky little shit. Don't worry. You're a little cheeky shit. You know that, Malaka. You wouldn't drop him yourself there. You're full of shit.
What else have you got for me? What else has been on your mind? Talk to me.
You told me. Well, Mitchell's what we're talking about tonight. That's what I'm saying. If you want clearances or you want someone to help out Nick in the middle, you get Titch in. Get Titch in and get the ball out to him. The kid's copying too much punishment. And you said before that you're okay. You're okay with Nick Daicos getting kneed in the fucking hamstrings.
If I'm playing for any other team and I can get away with it, I'm doing it.
So you're right with Nick getting. You're right now with Nick getting kneed in the hamstrings. You're right with that. So that's okay.
I'm not okay with that because I'm a Collingwood fan. But if I am playing on Nick Daicos, I'm going to do everything I can to make his game a living hell. Within the boundaries of the rules or within the constraints of the umpire's adjudication.
You know what I've done this week?
Where's Brazzy?
I would have got
Where's Brazzy?
Yeah, I would have caught a press conference at training today. Little light take the heaviness out of the legs over there today at training and done some light work. I would have called a press conference, right? I would have said to Brazzy, go out there, Braz, and do the press conference and tell the AFL, we're giving you a warning as the Collingwood Football Club. We're giving you the warning now. If that happens to our player Nick again, we're going to take matters into our own hands. There's going to be implications on the field. We've given you the heads up now. Sort it out. If it doesn't get sorted out, we're not going to allow our young star to get treated like that. It's not going to happen. We're warning you. The message has gone out before the game on Saturday night. Sort it out, or we're going to take matters into our own fucking hands. End of story. Enough's enough.
And then just walk off. Just drop the mic.
Drop the mic, send the media back, report it, and send a memo back to the AFL.
So grab Tom Morris by the tie and just unleash.
The Collingwood Football Club is not going to tolerate this kind of behaviour on one of our superstars. As a club, we will not accept this behaviour under any circumstances. If we have to get rubbed out for 4 weeks, it's going to happen. It's going to happen. I don't give a shit even if it's 8 weeks. If this is not sorted out, we're going to take matters we're going to put it on the agenda. We want this sorted out. You can't have a player kneeing Nick at the back of the hamstrings like that when the hamstrings are tight and you can pop a hamstring. You pop Nick's hamstring and he starts getting hamstring problems. Nick's going to start breaking down with hamstrings. That's all we need.
Yeah, we'll see.
So I like you, bro.
We'll see.
What about you?
Yeah, I like it. I like the idea.
There's only way there. You got to make a stand sometimes, bro. You got to make a stand, bro. If these Muppets don't want to do anything about it, We have to make a stand.
All right.
Sorry, it's
Brothers.
unacceptable.
Brazzy will be there, mate. Don't worry. Guys, just so you know, at 8 p.m. I'll be on the Pommy and Oz show. Yeah, it's the Pommy
Listen,
Kickback
Malaka, do me a
show.
favour.
You're gonna be there.
Do me a favour.
You're gonna be there.
I'll have a look.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, have a look. Do me a favour.
Yeah.
Can you do me a favour there?
All right. What do you want?
Can you
What do you want me to
explain-
ask him?
No, just say this to him. Say this to him. Remember it, right?
All right.
Just say this to him. This is how dumb they are.
Careful.
When
he
they
might be
start
watching.
talking-
He might be watching. Careful.
It doesn't matter. He knows me. When they start talking about Carlton and how they're losing, say this to him. I've already explained it to him. They're dumb. Just say this to him. If you put the Collingwood list right in the Carlton strip, Carlton will be sitting top of the ladder. They can't work out that their list is not good enough. Explain it to him. Your list is not good enough. Simple as that. They can't work out why they're losing games. They haven't got the players. Their list is not good enough. It's not rocket science, buddy.
You know what? I've got something
He
more.
might-
I've
he
got,
might
I've got
ask
something
it.
more
He might-
important for you. Billy Frampton in doubt for this week with a calf injury will be assessed further tomorrow, which could lead to multiple weeks out.
Calf injury.
Yeah.
Calf injury.
Mm.
Oh my God, Dre. We're starting to get bad news now. If that's a calf injury, we're looking at
Malaka,
5
you
weeks today.
need to fly your fucking ass to Melbourne and start giving these Malakas the best massage, best calf rubs that they've ever gotten. Baby,
So we're getting
oil,
lucky now. What's
fucking
happening?
the lot.
What's happening is we're getting lucky now. What's happening is we're losing a defender, and we're getting a defender back at the right time. So we're losing Frampton now, and Brazzy's coming back in. Hopefully we don't lose any more because we're going to start getting thin.
Do we play small again, or do we bring in Charlie Dean?
Brazzy comes in for Frampton now. It'll be straight swap.
Okay.
Straight swap. They haven't got monster forwards. Oscar Allen is out, and Waterman's out as well. They haven't got monster forwards.
True. Good point when you look at it like that.
So yeah, it would be Brazzy for Frampton.
But
Straight
Dean,
swap.
but
But that's
Dean
bad
has
news,
been good. Dean has been good in the VFL. Very good. I don't know.
Listen. They're all good in the VFL. All I know is, what I know for a fact is, as soon as Dean comes into the AFL, he gets exposed. That's all I know.
Yeah.
About what he does in the VFL, I don't give a shit.
But
All I'm worried about is what he does in
every player
AFL.
get exposed last year that played for Collingwood? Look at Billy Frampton. He looked like he was running. Looked like he had one leg in last year.
Yeah, I know, but if you bring in Dean, which defender are you going to leave out?
Well,
who are you going to leave out for Dean?
We'll
Why
save
bring
that.
Dean?
We'll save that for
Why bring Dean in
Predictor
for
23.
when you don't need Dean now? What would you bring Dean in for when you don't need him?
Well,
when you can put Brazzy there?
We've played short against Essendon. We've played short against other teams when Darcy Moore hasn't been available. So yeah, obviously.
To answer your question though, if another defender goes down, well then Dean has to come in. What are we going to do? We've got no choice, have we? Dean or TJ?
I'll back him in. All right, Malaka, guys.
I'll back him in as well.
Guys,
Malaka, do you remember what I told you? Hey, remember what I told you about Pommy? Explain to the Malaki this, that they're dumb, and tell them what I told you. Their list is no good. Stop talking about riddles and about presidents and about coaches, right? If you haven't got the right players, you can't win fucking games of football.
Yeah.
All right, Malaka.
All right, guys. 8 p.m. at the Pommy Kickback Show.
Malaka.
Pommy in Oz. 8 p.m. Come say hello.
Yeah, no, they put me on Discord. You can't though.
What? Come just.
Hey, you put me on Discord at Pommy's.
Nah, it won't be able. We won't be able to do that. But just come in the chat. Come say hello, Malaka.
I'll have a look at you. See what he's talking about.
All right, Ade, yeah.
Malaka.
All right.
Yes, sir, Malaka. Yeah.
All right.
Yes, sir.
All right, guys. Thank you for sticking around. Hopefully, we'll see a lot of you at 8 p.m. for the Pommy and Oz Kickback Show.